Hello everybody, Trent Suing again. And let's see, this is video number 8. Just want to do a quick check-in. I'm getting ready to post the video that was taken right before I left to go to Ukraine. So almost a year ago. And I was going to have somebody post them online for me, just so that I could have a voice while I was over there. But when I got there, um, it was so kind of horrendous that last thing I was thinking about doing was doing any videos. So anyway, so I would like to, acknowledge before I post this video to all the veterans out there that have gone through some of the worst things most you can imagine. All the police officers out there that literally in their heart, I guarantee you, they're trying to do the positive. They're not looking for the negative. They're just trying to protect everybody. But imagine how much negativity they get from us constantly. Think about, I'm not saying that anybody in particular, each one of you have done this, but think about how many people in the world have cussed at a police officer, called him like what I experienced, bad names, y'all know them. And all they're trying to do is do their job. And their lives are at risk all the time. And sure, everyone can probably think something negative towards a police officer or towards somebody serving in the military right now or that has a veteran. Sure, you can think something negative towards them, but why in the world would you want to do that when these people are literally trying to protect your life? That to me, that positive way outweighs the negative. That they're wearing maybe a dirty old hat or the young officer has an attitude or, whatever. We have not lived their life. We don't have their illusion. We don't process things the way they do. And stop and think. I bet you when they're on their job, they know they're risking their life. And they know people don't like them. That's pretty heavy. But anyway, I have one other thing that I want to show you to just kind of get you to understand where I'm coming from. Where I had said where my illusion, and if I did not say before, please make sure you're watching the videos in order. It's important. You won't understand what's going on. And yeah, everything else I've said before. But this is something that's a little fun for you that before I became conscious, I was learning how to get deeper and deeper into doing 3D tattoos. So I was looking for colors that I could put next to each other to get the trippy trick that I was going for, to fool the mind to basically see what I wanted it to see. Go figure. And I started approaching tattooing from that direction, that instead of drawing, I'm actually putting in exactly what I want the brain to see. I'm creating the vibrations in the skin so that I know the brain will actually process it the way I want to process it. As crazy as that sounds. And I know there's probably some tattoo artists out there thinking some negative, thoughts just by me saying that. But hey, I love you guys too. I love everybody. And tattoo artists, speaking of tattoo artists, I've officially now temporarily closed my business because, hey, a lot of negativity is already coming at me from this story. Story of me just talking about loving everybody and how to find the positive in all negativity. But that's okay. Hey, I knew this was going to happen. Not a problem. I have gotten some, pretty intense negative comments. Yeah. But that's okay. I got this. And like I said, I truly, I don't feel anxiety. I don't feel sad. I don't feel happy. I just feel okay. You know, that's as simple as I can possibly say it. And if there's anybody that has read Full Spectrum Consciousness, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And imagine how it is to be in consciousness, full spectrum consciousness, just talking from your heart, talking about love, talking about how everybody's God is okay. You know, it's not my place to judge. I love everybody's God because I know, to me, it's all the same. There's good in every God, and there's, you know, a part that isn't the best in probably everybody's God. You know, and I understand that. The reason why I can say I love everybody's God and truly mean it is because I know that one negative that's missing. Whether it doesn't matter what religion or anything you have, I know every single person out there has had a negative thought before. You know, about like, something doesn't make exactly sense. And hey, sure, that wisdom comes along with time. I totally understand. I'm not saying your beliefs by any means are wrong, because they're not. They're right. If it is what gives you strength, if it is what you believe in, then that's amazing. Who am I to judge? It's not my business. But anyway, so I came up with this. What I realized is I could actually see my brain trying to program itself. I know that sounds crazy. And I will let you make your own conclusion on what it is. Do some research. Do whatever you want. Because, you know, I'm not going to argue with you. This is your opinion. I'm just sharing things with you that are cool and kind of fun. And we'll probably end up talking about later. But anyway, I'm going to see if this works. But I would like everybody first to stop and try to picture the color that would be called yellow blue. Just in your head. Close your eyes. Think of what the color yellow blue would look like. I know what the color majority of you are already probably thinking, and those of you who aren't, that's great. The ones first were probably thinking it would be the color green. No, that's a primary. Drawing from my memories only, you know, I'm not an expert, I'm not anything. I'm just Trent Suing, pulling from my memory, talking out of consciousness. So the best I understand or remember, you have four cones, four types of cones. They're called like your primaries. Your red, blue, yellow, and green. All of the colors that you see are actually vibrations from best I can remember. I want you to check this out yourself. Do your own conclusion. Anyway, so I'm just going to talk about my memory of everything. Not saying it's 100% correct or it's not. And I believe every single thing I say to you guys, you'll agree probably with just about everything I say, except one little part. And I understand that. This is what I'm trying to explain through my story about consciousness and explain why everybody experiences so much negativity in life and so much unhappiness. And those of you who feel that you're perfectly happy, that's great. I love that. I want everybody to be exactly perfectly happy. You know, that's my goal. But anyway, I'm going to show this. And by the way, you can't see the color yellow blue because your brain does not know it exists. Because technically to nobody out there does it exist, because your cones, the way they work, in order for you to see, say, yellow, the other three cones are absorbing or being absorbed, all their light waves are being absorbed by the color of yellow, in essence. Yellow absorbs the blue, green, and red, light waves, vibrations, that's why you see yellow. And then blue does the other three. That's why you see blue, and so on. But the cool thing about blue, why it hides for tattoo artists, why it hides so well, is because blue is everywhere. The brain's constantly used to seeing blue. Think of Blu-ray glasses. Put a pair of those on and notice how everything changes. Yeah. Anyway, you'll understand more about that later. But so the color yellow blue doesn't exist. So what I am going to do is this is nothing special, no trick or anything. I'm going to pull up two lines that I drew on my iPad that are just the color yellow and blue together. And what I want you to do is I want you to stop the video on these colors, excuse me, and just stare exactly where the yellow and blue come together, and picture like as if you're staring into it into infinity or something, just like you're looking for the perfect point where the two colors come together, and just stare at it. And bring it to the right focal point for your eyes where you can easily see that point, and just stare at it for a second and realize I don't even know who I'm talking right now, but I know exactly what you're going to see and what's going on in your brain. And you're not even going to be moving your eyes, and I'm going to know what it's doing. Think about what I'm saying. How could I possibly know that? That everybody's going to see the exact same thing? Well, the ones who aren't are the ones who are colorblind. I love you guys. I feel for you. I can understand how it is, especially people who are blind. I love you guys and I feel for you. And everybody in the world, stop and think. One of their biggest senses, biggest vibrations receivers is gone. But yet, I guarantee you there's a lot of people in this world that have had negative thoughts towards somebody like that. The truth of the matter is, even a person, say with Alzheimer's, I'm probably not even pronouncing it right, and forgive me if there's any disrespect by not pronouncing it right. I'm pulling from my memory. But one thing I know for a fact, if you take a person that, say they have Alzheimer's, and sure, their brain's not working like your illusion expects it to, they might say some weird things that because their physical self is deteriorating. But stop and think, doesn't every single one of your gods out there, whatever you believe, doesn't what gives you strength let you know that, hey, that person can still feel love? You better believe they still feel the vibration. Stop and think of people who have had somebody that is about ready to pass, an elderly or something. And when you walk up and they've had no response for hours, but you walk up and you hold their hand for, a second, and all of a sudden you'll feel that little movement. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. They're in there. Hey, people who are so autistic that they can't communicate. I mean, they're still in there. Their soul is still in there. They're whatever you want to believe you have in you is still in them. And I guarantee you, there's a lot of them that are scared if they can't hear or see. Imagine how on edge their soul is constantly. It's constantly on defense because its physical self, unfortunately, doesn't have a lot of its abilities to receive all the vibrations correctly. But I guarantee you, their brain is still receiving the vibrations. And there's a very good chance, pulling from my memory, being conscious, I think if we look real serious at what we call autism, it's not a disability. Think of it from the perspective of, okay, like myself, I can focus my energy now on literally anything I want. I know it sounds crazy. I know. But I can focus my energy on anything I want. And I am going to share things with you that majority of you have never seen before in your life. And I guarantee I'm going to share something with you that not a single one of you in your entire life has ever seen. But I'm going to tell that part of my story later on. Because, hey, we don't want to get this locomotive going too fast. Yeah, no. And speaking of that, I probably in the near future will be going. I want to get out. I want to have some fun with this. Make this fun. Make this story enjoyable. Hey, you guys see my t-shirt? Woo! Yeah! Anyway, yeah, I want to get out, get around, maybe do some interaction with some public out there. Watch my back, because as interesting as it may sound, a man talking from his heart that's fully conscious, telling a story about how simply loving yourself enough to listen could truly save and solve all problems of the world between you and your God. Not me. I'm not trying to get you to worship me, nothing. No. Chances are by the time this story's over, I'll probably be laying low, disappearing. Or I might change my name or something. Who knows? Because I know a lot of people have negativity towards this, but I know without a doubt this is by far exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's all good. We got this. All right. So stare at the lines, and it's going to be hard for me to talk and hold it still. So I will want, if you could please, I'm going to hold it up. I'm going to get it in here. Stop, stare at the video. And then once you think you've seen what I'm going to say you're going to see, then start the video again and see how right I am. And also, if you don't see it, back up. After you hear what I say, I guarantee you're really going to see it then. And how do I know this? Because like I said back from the beginning, my consciousness means I can just explain things to your brain the way it will understand. And that is because I'm talking about all the positivity, not the negativity. Because if I do any more than point out the negativity, recognize it, if I do any more than that, there's somebody in this world that's going to stop listening right at that moment, because their defense system, their brain is not okay with what I'm saying. So they'll start thinking over and over and over again about that instead of listening to what I'm saying. So anyway, all right. So I'm going to have to turn the light off here. Boy, I'm sure that was annoying, and I am sorry, and I'm probably going to do it again, but okay. So, let's see. Okay. Right now, go ahead and stop the video. Stop the video. Okay, by now you've probably looked at it, and let's see how accurate I am, or let's see how conscious certain people are. Okay, let's see. I'm going to close my eyes and try to remember what I saw when I was conscious. I saw the edge of the yellow first turn a little brighter. Then I saw the edge of the blue turn a little darker. The edge of the white gets bright, starts going back and forth. Keep in mind your eyes are not moving. And you are just kind of noticing that, wow, there's a lot of activity in those lines. Now keep in mind the film is stopped. Realize this is kind of telling you exactly what was going to happen in your brain from the future, because it happened before I even said what was going to happen. And you're the only person in the world that sees that, because of your illusion. Your illusion is all here. All your vibrations are what gives you your images. Your brain processes it and gives you your images. So what you're literally seeing, because your brain doesn't know that yellow blue exists, and what I was doing is simply because I told it, it started looking at what the color yellow blue would look like. Now guess what? If you go back and you stop it and you stare at it again, stare at it long enough, I guarantee you, for the first time in your entire life, you're going to truly see the color yellow blue that everybody else in the world thinks doesn't exist because they're not conscious. But yet, I knew what happened in every single person's mind. That really should be a big indicator to you guys. How do I know what's going to happen in your brain? I mean, I'm not a doc. Oh, I was a mortician, well, a mortician apprentice for about a year and a half. And believe it or not, mortician apprentices do autopsies. Pathologist comes to the local mortuary if you don't have a coroner. And my second day, well, actually the first day, because it was the first day on the job, on the clock, I get sent by myself to go do a full autopsy. And I'm not talking, here, hold this, hold that. No, I'm talking pathologist recording. Okay, now pick up that tool and do this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and everything. Yeah. Whoo! When I, first day there, I thought, oh man, don't puke, don't vomit, don't anything. Plus, you know, I'm scared because thinking this is someone's dear loved one, and their physical self existed. Back then, I thought their life existed. And by the way, death is absolutely nothing to be afraid of whatsoever. Trust me, you don't want to go there until it's your time. No. But hey, back to the colors and the lines. And how could I know that was going to happen? Research it online, see if you can find it. And if you can, I'm excited to hear, because I haven't even looked. But anyway, I'm going to do it one more time and stop the video, stare at the lines again, and I got something else for you that's kind of cool. Whoa, that wasn't what I meant to do. Wait. Okay, stop the video. Okay, I'm sure you're probably back by now. So, when you see that, go back to it, stare at it, and then stare at it really well, you know, where it's close to your eyes, and then close your eyes. And you'll notice the colors are backwards. I mean, I'm not talking flipped up and down. Yeah, you can find that on TV. it talks about the eyeball, how it processes it and how it receives, flips it, everything back and forth. I know the truth about that. And yeah, every single thing the doctors have done is amazing. There's truth in every and positive in every single medical thing attempted and doing and so on and so on and so on. But there's just that one little piece that's missing to everything. And that's just the taking away the negative, because everything that your illusion has, your life that's taught you, your illusion, whatever we're calling it, you guys know what I'm talking about. Remember, from birth, it always looks at the negative first. That's that one little tiny piece in basically every single thing is just that one tiny piece that has everything just off from your knowing. You guys, this is huge. This is the first time ever talked about, I guarantee you. But one thing I've definitely learned is you cannot get somebody to gain consciousness that is not ready to. You can't make somebody listen that is not ready to. But now, those blue and yellow colors, oh, by the way, once I became conscious, part of me realized why that color really stood out to me, why those two. Because you think about it, unfortunately, majority of you have no clue why yellow and blue would be significant to me. Even the people dearest to me, can't even think right off the bat, I guarantee. That's okay. I love you guys. I understand. Remember, I'm conscious. I honestly don't blame anybody, hold any hard feelings. I love everybody. But the colors yellow and blue, the reason why they're so dear to me is because when I was with the Foreign Legion, that's Ukraine's colors. The colors of the most hurtful thing that's taking place in the entire world right now. All the negative. Hey, I know that there's positive there too. And each side, in their heart, they think they're doing the right thing. Every single one of those soldiers, they're scared. They don't want to be there. Trust me. I was looked at like I was some Rambo or something. And you know what? I was physically unfit. I hadn't done any form of exercise for 3.5 years prior to this video because I worked 7 days a week, tattooed at least 2 people a day. Ever since the day one I opened my shop. So every tattoo artist out there can recognize, hey, tattooing like 12 hours a day, every single day, 7 days a week. Yeah, that tears your body down. But when I was there, hey, my body did exactly what I needed to do, and it did things I should have never been able to do. In the short period of time I was there, on foot, 350 miles on foot. Sure, granted, when I got back, I had blisters on each feet, 35 plus. I had flesh falling off the bottom of my feet. I didn't have an opportunity to change my socks while I was there, my underwear or nothing. Ukraine, all Ukrainians, any woman that's ever been domestically abused, anybody who's ever had somebody else cause physical harm to you, I'm sorry. It's not right. Hey, and I love you guys. And you know what? As horrible as it sounds, the people who did it, I love them too. And I can see the good. Sure, I don't know their illusion. None of us know their illusion. Ugh. I'll probably end up using words even with less grammar. Because realize as I continue on in this story, every single day when I'm not on camera, I'm literally pacing the house or trying to, keep my food up, trying to get my rest. You can't imagine how much energy this takes. And when I meditate, now when I say pacing the house, majority of the time I'm in a total meditative state. I mean, half the time, it seems like no time even changed when in my meditative state, I was gone for hours. So let's talk about time real quick because I mentioned it in the past. And remember, for legal reasons, this is just my story. This is for entertainment purposes. I don't know squat. I'm just pulling from my memories with my conscious mind. Not trying to cause any problems with anybody. Not trying to disprove anything. Just telling my story. And those of you are all drawing your own conclusion on whether or not I'm right or wrong. It's just a fun story. Hey, let's think of this as, what was some of those good stories back in my old fart days, back in the 70s? Ooh, the original Land of the Lost. The Slee Stacks. Those were pretty cool. The modern day version just quite isn't the same. Oh, and ironically, how many times you've thought, the sequel just isn't quite the same? Well, surprise everybody. It's not, because each sequel still has that original piece that's negative in it, so it keeps getting worse and worse and worse. Cloning, hello. Each step, it gets worse and worse and worse. Whether you grow some of our natural medicines, you know that with cloning, keeps deteriorating exponentially. Welcome to your illusion. Yeah, nobody's ever talked about this stuff before, I know. Oh, another something kind of fun about that. One of the key elements that woke me up when I realized, wow, I'm actually conscious, is I had a client, dear sweet client. I love this person. They go by they. And I was doing a 100%, voluntary tattoo because this human being is a super high quality human being, and they're autistic to a point of disability. I mean, very autistic. And you know what? They, sorry, sweetie. Anyways, they and I see very, very closely the same way. And you know what? When I first woke up, I started thinking, oh, wow, I'm autistic. No disrespect whatsoever, no negative towards people who are autistic, I understand. But I literally started thinking I was autistic. That, okay, maybe because of doing the 3D tattooing and I've finally trained myself to see, because in order to truly see, you have to see everything with dimension. And as funny as that sounds, every single person in the world can be an amazing artist. All you have to do is learn how to see. And imagine if you start seeing all the truths, boy, that kind of compares up. How clear that picture becomes. And you know why the best artists in the world blow our minds? Is because they've put enough energy in to knowing exactly what to see. And when it comes to like being a tattoo artist, now, people who have looked at my tattoos. So it was about a month ago when I gained my consciousness. What you really should do is now you should look at my portfolio again from most recent back. And now look at everything from dimension. In other words, noticing, is everything the right depth, how it should be? Nobody even really realized what I was doing because I didn't explain to them how to see it. Because I know that if a person's not willing to simply listen, I can't get them to see it, if that makes sense. So, yeah, look at my tattoos. Like if it's flowers, notice how they overlay each other. Notice how when the piece turns, it changes. How certain areas get darker than others. Now compare it to other phenomenal tattoo artists. I love you guys. Hey, kudos to you guys. You're awesome. But, compare that now. Look from dimension on the average high quality tattoo artist and compare to mine, the exact same piece. You can find the same pieces pretty much anywhere anymore. Oh, and the truth is, there really is no copying somebody else's art. Because the truth of the matter is, nobody creates anything that they haven't at some point in their life, in their illusion, they haven't seen or heard or something. Somewhere they got those vibrations that locked in their memory visually. And that's what they have to pull from. Or as they're doing it and anything they're seeing, that's where they're getting the vibrations, in essence, like live, if that makes sense. So anybody who has a desire to be the world's best painter, they know good and well, all you have to do is learn how to see. See with your soul. If you are so concentrated on doing whatever your art is, I don't care what it is, shoot, it could be crushing beer cans. If that's your art and you put all your concentration into it, focus your entire brain into it, I guarantee you're going to blow other people's mind. Because you know how to do something with your vibrations that nobody else has ever been able to see before. Because it only knows what it's been programmed through all negative experiences. Because it looks at negative first. All your memories, thinking back, I guarantee you, the strongest ones are the negative ones. The positive ones are there too, but, they kind of get shuffled away until you need them. But, you're always looking out for the negative, your protection. So we don't really think about those too often. Now, everything I just said, think about how much I just talked about centering yourself, finding your Zen, finding your peace. Every single artist, no matter what your art is, whether you're operating an excavator, whether you're driving a semi, whatever thing you do in the world that you think you absolutely do the best, it doesn't really matter what anybody else thinks because they don't have the same illusion. But whatever it is that you do, it's because you find your center. You get centered in that. That's why it gives you pleasure too. Because when you're centered, you're numbing your mind, you're out of your thought, and you're one with yourself. With let's say your God, whoever your God is. That's the truth. And I guarantee you, everything I have said up to this point in all the videos, the smartest man in the world, the best scientist in the world, the best mathematician in the world, the best doctor in the world could not prove me to be wrong. And you know why that is? Because I don't have that one piece in my thought patterns. I recognize the negative. I find the positive in it, then I allow the negative to recognize itself, which equals nothing but positive. I guarantee you, you're going to end up hearing those words a lot, even after my story's told. You know, and this isn't ego forming. This isn't fun. Actually, if there is any monks out there, higher up monks, or if there is any religious leaders, higher religious leaders up there, or anybody else, I would like to talk to you guys. I guarantee you, you are not going to be able to prove what I say is wrong. Because I'm conscious and you're not. And anybody who's conscious out there or feel they're more conscious than me, one, they are going to know what I'm going to say next. I know that sounds crazy. But if there is somebody out there, I hope there's someone out there more conscious than I. Because if so, I will submit and I will shut up and I will let you take over the show. Believe me, this isn't fun. I mean, think of all the negativity now I'm dealing with that's being cast towards me. Yes, I'm able to flip it around, find the positive in it, and it energizes me. But my physical self, imagine what it's going through. And especially imagine, you guys have already seen that, hey, this story is getting to be a really good story, and it's sounding like just a little piece of it is sounding like every single movie you've heard somehow. Why do I know that? Because I'm conscious and I'm pulling from my memory. Every single memory I have in my brain, I am literally looking at it, recognizing the negative, finding the positive. Anyway, if you guys need to hear it again, and I don't mean to act like I'm frustrated or anything. I'm not. I'm beat. That's why I know here soon that I'm going to end up going mobile. And I hope that I have an opportunity to meet any of you. I love you. And anybody that only want to talk about positivity when you see me, trust me, I can talk your ear off. But I will say, though, until this story is over, what I don't want to do is, the story ends May 19th, which happens to be my birthday. And it's not for selfish reasons or ego or anything why my birthday. It's something that happened very, very dear to my heart. And I'm sure it's going to be dear to your heart when you hear it. And I bet you're going to feel almost as if it was predicting the future. Remember, I love everybody's God. Everybody's God is good. Sure, if you're thinking about someone else's God, there's that, at least one thing that's off. Well, guess what? Every single religion, there's one thing that's off. Every single person that believes in a religion, I guarantee you, has had one thing that they didn't just feel was right. Something as simple that didn't make sense, like something as simple as pulling from my memory of what I felt. I don't know what you feel. I don't know what your opinions are. I don't even know who I'm talking to. But there was way back. By the way, I was brought up in Catholic and went through let's see, all the good stuff, CCD and catechism, and my parents were very good, devout Catholics. I loved them, At the time you better believe, time I didn't love it, hey, let's be honest. I remember at one point, I believe when my folks were talking to a priest, about, I think it might have been my sister. And the priest had said that he recognized me from, out in the parish, big parish. And he'd said some negativity about me because he thought that I was mocking him. And hey, I don't judge. I don't blame. Guess what? I was young. I was a little punk. I was ADHD more than likely. Matter of fact, my memory tells me when I was in first grade, I believe my teachers wanted to get me on ADHD medicine because they said that my brain was just too hyperactive. That relates with a lot of you. And you know what? Bless my folks. They said we do not want to do that to him because we don't feel that's right. We're just going to go with that. That's the best my memory in a positive note is going to come up with. And now think back about, somebody who's depressed and on medication. Let's stop and think about the first time when they started talking to somebody about it, even before they got on medication or something. The negativity that was cast towards them. Or then the negativity that the client felt when the psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever, the psychiatrist is trying to, hey, I love you guys. I know you guys are doing good. I know you guys are doing everything you can. And you guys are underfunded. I understand that. And I love you guys. And I'm not saying I'm an expert by any means. So please, no negative energy at me. Nothing but positive energy at you guys. I'm just talking from a conscious point of view. But there's just one part that's missing. Psychology is based off of statistics. Very common information out there. So, statistics. So basically it's taking everybody that's within their illusion and it's statistically pulling, okay, this happens most oftenly when we do this, based on a bunch of, people in their illusion, because everybody's experience is different. And, absolutely, they don't know, in their defense, totally. And I love you guys. They don't know exactly what it's going to do when it gives you, like any of the in pharmaceutical companies. I love you guys too. No negative towards you guys whatsoever. Hey, whatsoever. But they don't know exactly what it's going to do in your brain. I've talked about everybody's illusions differently. All of us process from the negative, yada, yada, yada. They don't know exactly what it's going to do in your brain. You know why? And a lot of them, it's worse before it's better. Well, the truth of the matter is, it's because they're trying to, in essence, calm your brain, all your overactive activity. And the truth is so that it can connect with your inner self, get you centered. Let's stop and think. What do all mental health drugs have a tendency to do? I'm not an expert, pulling from my memory, strictly. What do all addictions and mental health drugs, do? Let's think of the illegal drugs. A lot of people feel euphoria. They feel like they're seeing God. Or other drugs that have gotten very negative point of views, they feel like they're having the best dream of their entire life. And that one, I haven't even done. No. Hey, have I done things I shouldn't have done? Absolutely. But I have had my limits of what I wasn't willing to do. And I don't judge people for what they've done. I love you guys. And I know you guys deserve help. Let's stop and think about it. The reason why they're doing these drugs is because their brain feels they're sick. Actually, everybody reconfirms that they're sick. That's what we say about alcoholism and everything, is that they're sick. But, and this is all pulling from my memory only, I could be wrong. But, okay, say you have somebody that says using methamphetamine, and I think I talked about this before and compared it to someone that's on Adderall to emergency room. Anyways, or, psychedelic mushrooms. I don't recommend using, I don't promote using any illegal drugs. It's not my business. I'm not telling people what to do. I'm not telling people or not telling them what to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm neutral on everything. But mushrooms, yeah, everybody who's done those is like, oh, yeah, I know that experience. And I think my memory tells me that psilocybin has been used, I would bet you, clear back into the beginning of my days to help treat PTSD. Think about this, you guys, because it kind of numbs the brain. And I do not recommend doing anything, period. I'm just talking from my brain and my experience. But now stop and think about that. Anybody who has done psilocybin, the experiences that you have. Oh, trust me, you can have some really bad ones. Yeah. And people who are depressed, I do not recommend changing anything other than simply listen to something that makes you happy. You know, whatever music it is. Oh, and by the way, this is a big one. And remember, it's just me about my consciousness pulling from my brain. But when it comes to music, I bet you anything, if your music, say it's one that offends other people, and yeah, everybody gets offended by everybody, it seems like, anymore. But hey, you know, it's okay. Everybody loves everybody when the truth comes to the truth. And everybody's God is good. Not my business. But do this. Whether you're into, oh, and by the way, I love all music. All musicians out there, you guys rock. But I mean, there are, I've enjoyed, in my physical days before I woke up, before my consciousness, shoot, I enjoyed country. I enjoyed all sorts. Suicide Boys, ironically. And back then, before I was conscious, I referred to it as happy dark energy. Yeah, that's what my conscious brain said. Suicide Boys is happy dark energy. And you guys, you rock. I love you. I've seen you in concert. You're amazing. No negatives, all positives. But, and I've listened to other artists that I won't even say their names because honestly, I wasn't impressed. But guess what? Every single artist out there is doing more than I'm doing. By sitting here exposing my goofy self, every single musician, every single actor, everybody in their heart has felt some insecurity. And if they haven't, guess what? They're called a narcissist. Really? Imagine how much people think I'm a narcissist. Even though I've told you guys, I have full spectrum consciousness. I've even asked you to look it up and figure out what it is. Oh, and hey, superheroes? Guess what? Every one of you superhero fans out there that feel like you have a connection with a superhero, like you just totally relate with one of those superheroes, you're right. You know why? Look up full spectrum consciousness. Read your Bible. Whatever your God is, wherever you get your energy, Go to it and start reading. What bad can that be? Whatever yours is, start reading it, please. I beg you. I'm not telling you what's right or wrong. I'm just telling you, please, start reading your Bibles or wherever you get your strength. If you don't believe in any form of God or whatever, I respect that too. I'm not judging whatsoever. Whatever gives you strength, I love it. That's amazing, because in my conscious mind, I know it's all the same. All positive is the same. All negative is actually, as you can start figuring this out, is positive too, which is good. That's why I can say all things are good. You just have to be conscious to be able to see it. And I guarantee you, down the road, once this story is over, this concept, my way of thinking, and it's not because I think I'm a genius or a god or anything, or I have any complex. No, everybody in the world is better than me. You know why? How can I say that if I truly love myself? Because I truly love every single one of you. And I just happen to know the one piece that you don't know because you're not conscious, or at least not conscious to the level I'm conscious to. And I've said before, my consciousness, to me, pulling from my memory, literally anything I think about, I know the truth to, because I look at the positive in it. And guess what? Every single thing in my memory connects with something with every single one of you through our illusion. And you cannot do anything to prove I'm wrong. It's not a magic trick. It's not brainwash. It's not whatever. All the negative things that you could possibly think, but I'm not saying those are negative. I don't know what your illusion is. All I'm trying to do is get you guys to understand I know what I'm talking about. And all I want to do is love you guys. And all I want to do is tell you a story about how simply listening, to loving yourself enough to listen, can truly solve all the problems of the world. And surely by now, you're starting to pick up on it. If you're not, please stop as soon as you don't understand something and start over again. There's a reason for that. Because simply listening, you literally have to hear every single word I'm saying. I have no ill intentions, so don't you guys foresee this going anywhere negative whatsoever. About the only negative that you're going to see this go is that anybody tries to bring upon me for simply talking about love and the good. And hey, on this locomotive, it has a fuel gauge. Yeah, watch the comments and watch the likes or dislikes or the subscribes. If they're not changing, but yet people keep watching the videos, that tells you they're thinking something might be true about what I'm saying. Now, I do ask the ones that totally understand what I'm saying and feel that talking about love and talking about loving your God, whatever it is, and talking about solving all the negativity in the world and all that, and with somebody who has full spectrum consciousness that literally knows a different view on every single thing you know, if you don't think that's something to take note on, or try to get as many people as you can to disprove what I'm saying, and I welcome everybody. Whoever wants to disprove what I'm saying, realize it's going to take a lot of energy, and realize since I am getting ready to go mobile and I've already shut down my business, that and I'm sure you guys can understand what these stipulations are going to be. There's going to be 2 recordings, one on site for whoever, is wanting to talk to me. And then I will have one that won't be on site just to keep me from lying, because I won't lie. I swore that to you in the very beginning. I'm only going to talk about positivity. I will not address negativity. And I know nobody can talk to me and prove what I'm saying is wrong. Imagine how powerful of a statement that is. Imagine once I get done not having, because I'm doing this with my entire being, and I know this is exactly right what I'm supposed to do, because it's out of pure love and nothing but towards positivity. Think about it. True. But once this story's done, I might have to, like I said, I might end up having to change my name. Who knows? I'm not worried about it. All good will come from it. No matter what happens to me, I only accept the positive. So nothing really bad can happen to me. If that makes sense. I know this might sound like what could be some names we could throw at it now. Schizophrenic or psychopath or sociopath or whatever. I'm sure someone out there is thinking I'm that. And I love you. The only difference is I'm conscious and you're not. I keep saying it because I keep trying to get people to read up on it. Begging you, please. Imagine if I was an alien. Not saying I believe in them, disagreeing them. You make your own judgment. Start watching the released files. They're not a joke. All you have to do is listen. But not going there with Martians or nothing like that. No, that would be way too consuming, and I would lose a lot of passengers off this train. Those of you that want to hear about it, well, maybe after this story, I might dig into it, or maybe at some point just to get things going again, I might talk about it. But I will say, and it's ironic, I have one person that I believe that is conscious that I'm communicating with. I have no reason to feel he's not. I have been having people save videos and communications I'm having, because what you're going to see, eventually you're going to be blown away how I said the closest negativity to you first pops out right away. And the louder it is, the bigger influence it is on you. And then you basically find the positive in it. And guess what? There's no positive in arguing back at all. There's not. Because I said way back. You can't argue with someone who's mentally ill, otherwise you're mentally ill too. Wow. Hear that? Yeah. You guys bear with me. I know your brain starts feeling like it's misfiring and so on. I get it. Realize everything that I've said up to this point has never been said before. So realize every single thing I say from this point forward, I take 100% licensing for it. Whether I forget the proper names, pull them from my memory. Things I'm going to discuss from here, because guess what? Nobody's talked about it in the world. Everybody knows it. And guess what? If you try to prove that I'm wrong, remember, I have a really big advantage, and I have nothing but love and good intentions, and I want the world to be the best world it possibly can, the way everybody in the world wants it to be. Simply by loving each other. And simply by stop letting the negative influences influence you so much in your life. And please, all parents, love your children unconditionally, undeservingly. They haven't even been programmed enough yet to even, their soul's not even strong enough yet to even know to feel what's right or wrong. And if we don't have anything but pure love for them, how's that right? If a baby does something wrong and we slap its hand when it's trying to touch the stove. Most of us, hey, I agree, I know what you're doing. As a parent, hey, I never spanked ever. And as a parent, I kind of, looking back, I had a huge advantage over majority of you parents. A huge advantage to make sure I always did the exact right thing. And this is going to sound backwards to you, because remember, I'm conscious and you're not, but once I say it, you're going to understand. For my daughters that I love with my whole entire being, I went through, it was about an 8-year custody battle. And it was horrendous. And this was back when men don't get custody of their children. This is back when, and the mother had no physical abuse, no chemical abuse. It all came down strictly to the psychological abuse of how she talked about me to my daughters. People, parents, every single parent out there, custodial, non-custodial, think about what I'm saying. And another significant person in my life who happens to be an attorney that I was with for a really long time, or was an attorney, realize every single thing I heard, every single thing I saw, every single thing, period, is still in here. Because our brains never forget anything. I still have all those vibrations memorized. The only difference was they had a negative signature that made them so much easier to even recognize. Yeah, I'm sure it's blowing a lot of people's minds. All you out there battling any sort of addiction out there whatsoever, I love you guys. Hang in there. Hey, I know you're not doing it intentionally. I know the worst people in the world are not truly doing it intentionally. And I know the best people in the world, well, one, they would already be subscribing to me. And they would already be reaching out. If they're more conscious than I am and they're the best people in the world, they would already be reaching out and trying for us to spread the love. Because, I mean, think about it. How could a fully conscious person not only want unconditional love for every single person on earth? That's all I want. Now, that's some crazy talking stuff there. That's like talking, your illusion says, peace on earth, that's not possible. Well, your illusion, and being an illusion, peace on earth is not possible. I understand that. Trust me. Look at the combat and everything I've been in, and the business owner and the tattoo artist. And guess what, people? Love your tattoo artist. If they act like they're doing you a favor, or if they're rude, or if they're, only doing their style, well, guess what? They're doing the best their soul can handle at that point. They're putting every ounce of everything into them. My prices were phenomenal. Intentionally. Super, super low, not because I couldn't get it. Because I wanted to tattoo. I wanted to give love. I wanted to give grace to my clients. Plus, OCD side of my physical mind, I wanted to challenge myself to be the best tattoo artist I possibly could. Therefore, I taught myself how to see the best I possibly could. Funny fact is, and it happens to be, by the way, look at the top of my head. That was done over a year ago. The tattoo artist that did it, he at the last minute, he was supposed to do my throat. at the last minute, he decided that wasn't a positive thing to do. So I came up with a design real quick. I think it was like 3 days before the appointment because I'd been waiting a long time. I came up with the idea and I just threw stuff on together that I thought was cool. And I love this person too. He was one of my instructors. Ironically, though, I had mentioned something, and I'm not saying whose name it is because I guarantee you're wrong if you think you know it. But anyway, had a conversation where I was talking about really trying to push dimension in tattoos. Really trying to get the 3D effect. I wanted to be able to give people the best tattoo I possibly could, make it as cool as I possibly could because I love them. And a couple times he kept saying, dimension? Why do you keep talking about dimension? What do you mean dimension? There's no dimension in tattoos. I understand that way of thinking. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying my memory and my consciousness says, well, first off, every single thing in your experience is vibrations. They all come. I'm not going to get into too much more because after this story, there's going to be some really cool inventions that come up. And, of course, I'll basically have nothing by the time this story's over because I know that it's honestly going to require me to put every ounce of everything into me. And as crazy as it sounds, just by me talking about this stuff and talking about love and getting you to love yourself, I know that I'm probably going to, before this story's finished, I'm probably going to have to keep myself as far away from any negativity as I possibly can be. Because any negativity that I take on towards the end is just going to take me out of my conscious self and bring me more into my physical self to where I have to play the game of everybody out there, the hurt you've played when you've felt like you've been falsely accused or anything like that. Realize people are already judging me horribly when all I've been talking about is what my brain and my consciousness and how to love everybody in the world. But people are already judging me. Oh, and if you get tired of looking at my mug, another fun fact, vibrations are vibrations, people. Don't be afraid to play it at night while you're sleeping if you don't have time to hear my video. It still works. When I was in college, I wanted to get over anxiety. So I wanted to push myself. Never done any acting or anything before in my life. And, after what I tell you, I never had again. So no, this isn't acting. This is raw. No script. Who in the world would have this poor taste? Wow. That's interesting. Anyway, but I assure you, I love you guys. I'm out of energy, and as you can tell, I could keep rambling and rambling and rambling. And I would absolutely love, 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 love. I don't care what religion it is, as long as you're only willing to talk about the positive and look for the positive, even if you want to figure out answers for the positive, I accept it. If you want to try to bring negativity towards me, I don't have time for that. You're just going to slow me down from finishing the story, and you're going to slow down the locomotive that we have going here. But yeah, anybody who by this point, understands exactly what I'm saying in this story, if you would like this story to reach its full potential and make it a really cool story, reach out to me. I love you guys. Time to have a brother's back. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you. Oh, and don't forget the next video was taken hours before. It's self-explanatory. It talks about it. I realized this was before I had consciousness, and I do make a religious joke, and to those people that it might offend, please recognize that even that being in there, I'm talking about love, and I'm talking about grace, and I'm talking about the beauty, and I love everybody's God. Please recognize that even that humor in there, the positivity it can have, simply because right now I'm saying I love you guys, and I don't disagree with you. It's just something that my illusion put together, and now that I'm conscious, I don't feel the same way. I know everything has good in it. And how can I possibly say that? Okay, this is going to shock a lot of people. It's going to offend a lot of people. If you're looking for the negative, just listen to the positive in what I'm saying. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, what's up with the sound? If you don't agree with what I'm saying, I totally get it. But let's stop and think. I'm just very gently, I don't agree, disagree. I just pointing out a point of finding positivity in everything, and you have to be able to recognize the negativity in order to find the positivity. Please, please, bear with me. But I'm sure in one religion, there's a lot of you out there that is thought, God's a jealous God? That just doesn't make sense. To me, pulling from my illusion, my memory, to me, I can't think of how in the world it would be, how that makes sense, because that means, but that's a sin. But then images, all these things. I can't even say for sure what religion I'm referring to. All you can do is draw your own conclusion with your own illusion, your own memories. I can't say you're wrong, because you're not. Whatever you believe is right. Or let's take something that people have cast a lot of negativity towards. And by the way, the last one, amazing, amazing, amazing story. The Bible, your Bible, whoever's Bible I'm talking to, your Bible is amazing. It has 100% absolute truths in them. I said from the start, all of them do. There's just one little piece, not that it's wrong. There's just one little piece within each one of the Bibles that is just missing. And it's because the writers weren't conscious. So they're looking from the negative. The negative was brought out and pointed out, if that makes sense. Okay, let's think about, and trust me, I haven't studied religion, so I don't know squat. So please, please, please. There's another religion that, so many people died horribly, horribly, horribly in this religion. I mean, I'm talking like, we remember gas chamber type stuff. Those people. Now stop and think how many jokes we make at those people. And I haven't even said the religion, and all you know who I'm talking about. Well, you might think, oh, it's just jokes, it's all fun, yeah, everything's okay. Let's stop and think. Every single joke has a certain percentage of truth. Otherwise, it wouldn't be funny. Everybody knows that. Guess what? That certain bit of truth is. And we think it's funny. You know, we think it's funny to point out something negative that's going to hurt another person. Majority of us think it's funny. Myself, I've never found what a lot of you would call stupid humor funny. Never, never. Of all things, I absolutely love African American humor. I relate with it. I get it. That's some funny shit. Yeah. Animal humor. Oh my goodness. You want to see me act like a child and giggle uncontrollably? Let me see a horse talk. Or let me see a gerbil wiggle its butt. I can't stop laughing. On the flip side, I think I've said before, guess what makes me cry? Those animals that don't have love. Those kids that don't have love. The suicide person that is hurting so bad. In their illusion, they feel they have no love. At the time, when I was in my illusion, I thought I was feeling sorry for myself. That's why it made me cry. I thought it's because I was feeling sorry for myself is what made me cry when I would see a precious child have nobody. Or when I would see a person never able to find love in relationships. Or horrible movies like what we all love, whether it's horror or even let's talk about the absolute best sports player, whatever sport in the entire world, period. I guarantee you that person in that sport is way more connected, way more conscious than any of us. That's why they're the best. And all of those, I guarantee you I could have a conversation with them that they would really enjoy having. Because I'll point out the positive out of their negative. And they'll know it's true. It's not because I'm playing any games, because I love you guys. I want you guys to know the truth about everything. That scared a lot of people right there. Because those of you who are fully conscious, I bet you probably thought, oh, that's a stupid man. I assure you, I'm not. I assure you I'm not insane. I assure you I'm not trying any cult type things, anything whatsoever. Those who do whatever, I'm okay with it. I can't say I'm okay with it. I don't have an opinion on it. I'm neutral. Just like all religions, I'm neutral. It's not my business. I honestly believe all of you are good. There's just one little piece. And I'm not saying I'm anything to worship or anything. I'm like some saint. No, people, come on. I'm just saying I'm conscious. Stop and think what that means. Read what it means. I love you guys. Anyway, please fill in your heart. Look at my face. Look at how out of shape I was even. And know, at that moment, I was literally ceasing to exist, choosing to cease to exist. I thought simply because I love everybody so much that I was willing to die just because in my conscious time back then, I said because I just wanted to be one less screwed up thing in the world. Now that I'm conscious, I look back at this video. Oh, and truth be told, after I posted these videos, this is going to sound funny to some. Going to make me sound like such a sissy or weak or whatever. And all those terms I used, any of those who find those offensive, I don't mean it that way, trust me. I'm just trying to get a point and get it across to everybody. But, whew. Where'd the chimes go? Is it? Yeah. Anyway, I just lost track there. My brain's fried. I planned on this being like 2 minutes. And real quick, because guess what? All day, my head has just been going 100 miles. It would scare you if you knew all the thoughts that might have. Not because I have any negative intentions whatsoever and all of its thoughts. Just if you were to see my head and what's going on in my head right now in a movie, you would walk out feeling probably like how you are right now. You're feeling that your brain can't even comprehend any more of what I'm saying. It's not making sense. I get it. I love you. Please, please, please go back to where it didn't make sense and start over again. I know it's a pain. It's a pain. I love you. How much of a pain do you think it is for me to keep saying that? But I know there's somebody out there that's not understanding yet. And realize anybody who is offended by anything I have possibly said, I'm strictly talking from my memories and my heart, my soul, as one, my consciousness. And I'm able to pull all my memories that everybody else was part of and find the positive out of it by recognizing the negative. How can that possibly be anything wrong? And anybody out there that's in a harmful situation, I love you, and please, please, please protect yourself from the negative. Nothing else matters right now. Protect yourself. I love you. I think you'll see down the road there is an argument I can't beat. Wow, bold statement. There literally is not a problem that you could bring to me that I cannot solve. It's all just going to be a matter of how much energy I have to put into it to figure it out. This is literally a way of outthinking everything. So please, anybody who thinks they're important, that has some stature, whether it be the highest religious leader within your religion, I would love to sit down and talk about positive things with you and answer any questions you possibly have, as long as it's towards positivity. Like I said, I just want 2 filmings, one for you to keep with your parish, and I want your parish there, and I want everybody to be able to ask me questions. And the reason why I want it filmed, and the reason why I want 2 filmings of it in your parish there, is because I guarantee you, if you have a large parish, I guarantee you there's going to be some of them in there that understands, and I guarantee you every single one, including yourself, is going to understand a certain part of what I say. And I will not say anything whatsoever offensive or to try to manipulate how you think or try to get you to think negatively about your beliefs, because I love that you have your beliefs and I believe in them too. I just have just one little tiny different thing that I see. How can that possibly be bad? Everybody within a church has one teeny tiny thing that they see that they don't like. I mean, think about it. Whatever religion you're in, I bet you've had negative thoughts about people within your parish. I bet you've had negative thoughts about your leader. Guarantee you. Some of you have. And if you haven't, that's your business. You know, that's good too. Because guess what? Every single one of your gods I believe in with my entire existence, and I believe your God is right. Period. And nobody can prove me wrong. Anyway, shutting up. Please check out that lines thing again. I know you're going to see what I'm talking about. And go ahead, Google. See if you can find this stuff. And remember, I said, from this point forward, I own any information that I release within these videos by all aspects. And I still say, yes, you're welcome to share my videos by all means. Just do not alter it whatsoever. That doesn't mean you can't take a clip out here or there, because I'm not going to lie to you guys about anything. Funny thing there, remember the saying? If you don't lie, you don't have to remember what you say. Hello? Why do you think I'm doing this live? Why do you think I'm talking so quickly about so many different things? If I was lying, do you really think I could do that? I would have to stop way more. When you see me stop and I'm looking off to the side, you know what I'm thinking? Right then and there, when I'm looking off to, wait a second. I look off to both sides. Normally when someone's thinking, my illusion tells me that normally they look one direction or another. Wow. Now people are going to think I'm on drugs, probably. Welcome to a conscious mind. You know? Oh, and by the way, when you close your eyes and you see the yellow and blue lines flipped, which it's not going to tell you on the internet that it does that. You're the only person in the world that sees that. You're the only person in the world that sees your illusion. Yeah. Anyway, I know there's probably things that I didn't wrap up or keep talking, and you know what? Something tells me I'll probably end up mentioning them again, so it's all good. I love you guys. Have a great day. And please, when you watch this next video, think about every single person in your life that has touched your heart, that has gone to war, that has stood in front of an abusive spouse or parent, or the police officer that's taken a bullet, or the fireman that doesn't think twice, or the military guys right now that are in the worst conditions possible in the world, no matter what side they're on. They're all part of us. We're all one. All your gods know this isn't right one way or another. All of our gods know this isn't right one way or another. Oh, and talking about religions and talking extreme about finding good in everything. And I'm going strictly out of the positive truth. I'm not debating it or anything. But, okay, let's take something extreme. And no, by no means, this isn't my beliefs or disbeliefs whatsoever, just pointing out the opposite. Get you guys to see the truth. But here's something that I know doesn't have that large of a following. Let's think about something called the devil. Okay, that's scary even mentioning the name. Some religions even believe me saying that name is taboo. Well, drawing from my memory on something that, you know, was a major part of my programming, the religion from a child, something reminds me that I'm pretty sure there's something that says, like, he was God's greatest angel at one point. Okay, now, if we take out the negative and stop right there, period. At one point, the devil was God's greatest angel. Let's not go any further. I'm not debating one way or another. But you still have to recognize that in the devil, there was good. Super, super easy math problem, right? Yeah, it's true. You can't debate that. Nobody can debate that. So every single person in existence knows at least one thing about the devil was good. The highest religious leader in every single religion would agree with that. I mean, it's the history. Oh, by the way, history? The illusion? You keep repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating and repeating. Our illusions taught by our parents, by our parents, by our parents, by our parents, by our history books, by our everything. I know sounds like conspiracy theory, but once again, I will say some point in my illusion I had heard if history books weren't written, then in one generation, hunger in the world would stop. Well, please, I love all of you guys. Please realize that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you here from the full spectrum consciousness, that I know exactly that world peace can exist, but the only way it will exist is if all of us love each other enough to wake up and stop hurting each other. And it's not our fault that we hurt each other. because we were programmed from the negative first. Our knee-jerk reaction is not to see the positive, it's to see the negative. And we don't hear what we're saying to each other, because as soon as our thoughts pop up in our head when they're saying something, we're not hearing them. And this goes forward, back. This goes parents to children, children to parent. This goes science. This goes every ounce of every industry. This is true. And like I said, after this story is done, you guys are going to see some pretty amazing things. And you know what? I'm not doing this for self-gain or anything. I'm doing it because I love you guys. And whatever I come up with, sure. Whatever I show you guys after this story is finished, I'm going to do some really amazing things. And you know what? Any ounce of anything that I gain after this story, from new stories that I tell and new inventions that I come out with, I assure you, I will not be doing anything that is feeding into the negative. And I would assure you that anybody that I'm willing to help or talk to, first, I'm going to want a public statement. Now, this is talking after my story's done. But after my story's done, I'm willing to help anybody I possibly can in the world. If there is, like I said before, any high religious leader that would like to talk to me, please, I love you. I don't want to challenge your beliefs whatsoever. If there's an answer I can answer, I just want to do that so you can understand, to prove me wrong, even if that's what you want to do. So literally, how can any religion right now have a defense? How can anybody who has a religious belief have problem with what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm obsessing about this is because I know how touchy of a subject this is. All right. One more fun fact. Everything they say you shouldn't talk about. If you're a wise tattoo artist, you do not bring up religion, politics. I don't know, those two are very big subjects, so my brain's having a hard time figuring it out. But guess what? When it comes to politics, hey, I know all of them are exactly like they're meant to be. They all have good in them. They just have that one little thing that all of us know, that there's one little thing in every single thing that's just not exactly right. I know that one little thing. And I want to do nothing but love you guys and make the world as amazing as I possibly can and create world peace, if you say. Yeah. How about, let's think about ending what's stirring really quickly. Look at the news, look at foreign news, look at what's building now. When you watch this video that I'm getting ready to post after this, look a year ago what I said. And by the way, the reason why May 19th, my birthday, when I chose that, was, and I can't say enough, love these people. Please, please, world, wake up and see these people. We've had people right before their death be on national, worldwide television begging the entire world to help. And guess what? I did. And those of you who know who I'm talking about, I love you guys. Thank you so much. And those of you that lost their loved ones, I know that pain. And if I look sad now, it's not a pain as in hurt from what I experienced there. It's a pain of in love that I don't want anybody to hurt anymore at all. I mean, let's find one good thing in every single thing in the world, please. And it's that simple. That's how it starts. All right. Sorry for getting a little too intense there. Like I said, you'll see when I'm in my consciousness, when my spiritual self is speaking, I get intense. I'm so passionate about it because I love you guys so much and I love what you believe in so much. And I know how important this is. I know, let's just say, I love you guys. Please keep listening. Please just understand I'm talking about strictly positive and the conclusion. And as the story continues, it's all positive. And I'm not trying to persuade anyone. I love you guys. Take care. Bye.